Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, if they build it, they will come. Well, that used to have a meaning if the railroad came through. But what about the railroad of the future? Well, we have a very important summit coming up, second annual, as a matter of fact, right here in Saratoga next Thursday. And joining me is Marty Vanags, who's the president of the Saratoga County Prosperity Partnership, the dear honorable leader.
Yes, that's right. Dear leader is what they call me.
Is that right? Oh, you know what? I didn't know it was so comprehensive.
It is, yeah. But what can I say?
Marty and Shelby and the gang at the Prosperity Partnership are really very proactive when it comes to economic development. I think you already know that. But when you put together a summit like this, Marty, where you're bringing in leaders that touch really pretty much every aspect of where the future is for our community,
right,
that's really quite an undertaking.
Yeah, when you look at the future of the community from the perspective and the lens of technology, you really have to look at Global Foundries and the favor they did for us by investing so much money and building the fab here in Saratoga County. And so what that means is, okay, so how do we leverage that? How do we leverage that investment? And that's one of the jobs that we have taken on in a very serious way. And so the summit addresses some of those opportunities. We call it our next wave of opportunity. And so we're looking at it through the lens of a lot of different technological drivers that are going to hopefully increase the opportunities for Global Foundries, which then increases the opportunities for us.
Sure, and opportunities in a number of different ways, which I'd like to get to.
Right.
But you know what? You just used the phrase that I really want to concentrate on, which is next wave.
Right.
If the first wave was the Global Foundries of the world coming into our community, well, then the next wave is, what is the next area of development that affects the semiconductor industry? So then we start to move into autonomous cars and the like. So you've identified some of these, haven't you?
More than identified it, I should really give credit to Gary Patton, who's the chairman of our Next Wave Advisory Council, which I'll describe in a presentation he gave last January in California. He talked about the drivers of the semiconductor industry, and they include the Internet of Things, which is everything being connected.
That's right, sure.
He talked about autonomous driving or self-guided cars, autonomous transportation, and we're going to probably see that sooner than we think. And so that's also driving some of their growth.
And artificial intelligence, right?
Big data, artificial intelligence is another one that's kind of connected together, but that also is very important in the autonomous driving and self-driven cars. And then the 5G network. The 5G network is really a telecom kind of effort. AT&T, Verizon, some of the big teleconnects are putting together these 5G networks, and it's really important to have those in the autonomous driving environment. So you don't want your self-driven car not to be able to quickly connect to the internet to tell you that there's a big truck in front of you, you better stop. And so that kind of speed is really part of the 5G network. And
or if you're in the third lane like me where the state trooper is, maybe. Oh no, I don't have to worry about that.
That's right.
Because I won't be driving.
That's right. You can.
I don't think I like this one.
But just think you can sip on your wine.
Oh, thank you very much. Or listen to Cheap Trick.
That's right.
There we go.
Cheap
Okay.
Trick, right.
The private joke there. And how do you go about organizing these panels? These are really leaders in the industry here.
Yeah, we've got some, well, the neat thing is that we've got a lot of people right here in this community. People like Chris Cavell, who's president of a company called Smart Watt Energy. They get involved in energy for manufacturing and for communities in how to effectively reduce the costs and make things work. And that's part of the Smart Cities infrastructure.
Initiative,
We've got people like Chris Meyer, who's a Saratoga County resident, works for Whiteman, Osterman, and Hanna. They get into cybersecurity, legal issues, which is very important. When all that data is out there on the internet, all that data is being downloaded into these predictive analytics and big data systems. That's your data. That's your information.
That's right.
And so there's a lot of opportunity, as we've seen in the past year with elections and things, for that data to be compromised. We have people like John Schneider, Freeform Fibers, a growing technological company that's doing some really amazing things with microfibers, using a process very similar that the semiconductor industry uses. We've got Mike Fancher, Sean Wiggins, Bruce Toyama, all these really smart people in this community who are growing companies, helping other companies grow, and they've got a lot to tell us about how we can take advantage of that opportunity.
Well, you know what we're talking about here, and I highly encourage you to go to the website. What's the website, Marty?
www. Do we have to even say that anymore?
No, not anymore.
SaratogaPartnership.org.
SaratogaPartnership.org, and then you can see a list of all of the panels that Prosperity Partnership has put together, as well as the speakers that will be featured.
And you can register.
And you can register to go too. I think what's most important here is that when you put together a summit like this and you recognize the power of the semiconductor industry and what needs to be done in our community to build the infrastructure to allow that economic growth to happen, whether it's individuals and their skill sets or whether it's companies, feeder companies, just all of the ancillary things that actually contribute to the well-being of that growth. That's why you do this summit.
Exactly.
And boy, I really encourage you to go. I went to the one last year, and outside of the fact I realized that I don't know very much, I thought about it for days, Marty.
But you know your music.
I do know that, yes, that I do know. And television,
that's
and
right.
media and video.
Yeah, right.
It will play a part.
That's why it works.
Yeah. But right now, the summit is next Thursday. Kicks off early in the morning, as you might expect, right?
Yep.
So you've got a breakfast.
7:30 networking, registration. Right. We kick it off at around 8 o'clock. We go to about 12:30. So there was some breaks in there.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think there's anything more valuable than a summit like this for the reasons that we just mentioned. We have a huge industry right in our midst. How do we make that industry grow? Thinking about the next wave of opportunities, but also thinking about everything that we can do as a community to ensure it. That's really where this sits.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Great, Marty. Oh, I can't wait for this one. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Good to see you again. Yep. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.